Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. The FC26 news is starting to ramp up, but not exactly as we expected in two different ways. First, we've got some market changes to discuss today, something that's got a lot of people worried as we head into FC26, but luckily, it may not be as big of an issue as it's set out to be because an EA employee confirmed that EA made some mistakes yesterday. And second, what is a big issue and a talking point right now is the first pitch notes of FC26 have been released. Guys, the game's not even out yet. We already have some updates. They look decent. We'll talk about that. There's another promo card design that is leaked and maybe giving us a bit more info on what we talked about yesterday with those new World Tour cards and that card design. And we have the official FC26 ratings and EA's database that is starting to fill in with players. If you guys are excited for FC26, 8 days to go. Make sure to drop a subscription to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and make sure to hype the video or like the video today and show the channel some love. I appreciate all of you guys watching, and we're so ready for FC26. Let's dive right into the conversation with the transfer market worries, the panic that was created yesterday by some of the leakers, and, well, an EA mistake at the same time. First of all, FIFA Trading Romania tweeted out yesterday, limited access to the transfer market is going to be a real problem. And this was kind of like a, whoa, what is going on here type of tweet. These screenshots are not from the beta. These screenshots are from FC25, and that's where the EA mistake comes into play, but it relates to FC26. As you can see here, somebody has a screenshot of an error message saying that they've reached their limit. They can't bid or buy on any more cards, and they have to come back in 14 hours to do it again. And this screenshot shows that the transfer market is in a limited access mode for this player. Again, limited to 8 bid/buy actions in total, and then full access will be granted in 14 more hours. So that just, of course, set off a lot of alarm bells in people's heads, especially those of us that really like the market, because we were like, why are we limited? Why are we restricted with how many cards we can buy or sell on the market? That would be a huge problem if that was going to be a part of FC26. It was kind of believed at this point that there was going to be some sort of market restriction. And the reason why this took off and why this was actually kind of a worry for a lot of people, even though these screenshots are from FC25, is the fact that in the beta for FC26, allegedly through leaks and a couple of leaked screenshots here, there was, in order to get access to the market, an objective that you had to complete. And it was like a lot of games. I think you had to play Rush and Rivals and Squad Battles and do a whole big objective set just to unlock your access to the market. And then after that, you can see here that you could only perform 8 actions in the first 24 hours. But then after that, you would have unrestricted access. So it looks very similar to one of the screenshots we saw from in-game FC25. But that's why these worries were kind of starting to take shape and take form, because EA is doing something different with the market this year in terms of a graduated transfer market access. And that's why this is happening and this is being added into the game, because there are some new limits to the market this year, guys. But it's not exactly what it seems to be, and it's not something that we have to be super worried about because it's not going to really impact most of us. And as I saw this tweet yesterday, I quote tweeted and I was like, hold on a second. There's no way that this is going to be an actual legit problem and a legit issue. And actually, I was surprised to see this. An EA employee responded to the tweet and said that the screenshot being shared is for those with graduated access only, not something everyone would see. More info to come in an upcoming article. That's good to know. But for the majority, I would assume, of folks engaged in FC Twitter, this would not apply to you. And that's kind of the screenshot here that I posted on this repost, on this retweet, is from one of the pitch notes earlier on in the year that talked about this graduated transfer market access, which when we talked about this, when these first came out, we really didn't read into it too much, because if you note down here, it says that if you're a returning player on the same platform and your account is in good standing, you'll have immediate access to the full transfer market when you log in for the first time. And that is what the employee here, Joel, is saying about this transfer market situation that we are seeing the screenshots for. So it looks like if you are somebody who is switching platforms, let's say you're going from PlayStation to PC or vice versa, any platform switch, if you were banned in the previous year, FC25 on the market, Or if you're just creating a brand new account, you're going to have to go through those objectives and go through the graduated transfer market access, which in the grand scheme of things isn't really that hard to get past. You're limited for 1 day on the market after you complete those objectives, and then after that you have full access. That's not that big of a restriction in hindsight, at least I think, because this is really supposed to stop those who are not using the market in the correct ways, right? Limiting transfer market access for new accounts helps protect the economy from potential rule-breaking activity, is what EA is saying here. And that's why they've added in this graduated transfer market access. And that's why there's these restrictions in here to combat the bots and the coin transfers that are on the market. Guys, let's be honest, bots have been around. Somebody said in the chat yesterday, there's been bots for like 13 plus years in Ultimate Team, in the web apps, the companion apps, and people have been using ways to get on the market and snipe cards really fast for a long time. They're probably going to figure out a way around this. They probably already have accounts set up to go around this. So I'm not involved in any of that sort of, black market trading sort of thing, but that stuff is probably always going to exist because people know they can profit off of it in some way. So that's probably still going to be there, but this is EA's attempt to try to get rid of that at least a little bit. And that's why we have this graduated transfer market access. However, it is a good thing to note, if you're switching platform this year, or if you were banned last year, you're going to have to do a little bit of work to get in to the transfer market at FC26. And it's also maybe a little bit of a warning for those of us who trade a lot to try to not get banned in FC26 so that we don't have to go through this as well. But the reason, again, that these first screenshots were showing up in the first place was because some way that EA was implementing the new graduated transfer market system and access and all that on FC26 triggered something in FC25. So some people were actually not able to trade, as we said, for 24 hours in FC25. They weren't able to buy anything off the market for a day, and now today they should be able to do so. So I even believe that Joel here said in a different tweet that he did not realize they were FC25 screenshots, that he said was an issue which has been resolved. Apologies for the confusion. So that's that whole market situation that kind of went on yesterday. Again, the roundabout way of things is it's not actually that big of a problem, where most of us are going to be able to get on the market straight away and have unrestricted full access. But I wanted to talk about that because, of course, I'm sure some of you guys saw tweets and it was like, wait, Nate, what is going on with the market? Well, there we have it. Now, the other big news is these pitch notes. The EAFC Direct account yesterday on Twitter just all of a sudden tweeted out, hey, we have a pitch notes article about closed beta feedback. I think this is cool. We've never had closed beta feedback before. EA has always just dropped a beta and then we just got the game, right? That's always what we're used to. This year, they're releasing a closed beta feedback, which basically tells everybody, and a lot of people didn't play the beta, right? Or didn't play it very much. And this is telling everybody what has been updated from the closed beta, which I think is kind of cool. There's a lot that's being updated, nothing super crazy, but the things that are going to impact us the most inside of Ultimate Team are the low-driven shot, AI defender speed, and attack positioning. Now, I'm not going to read through all this here. If you want to read it, you can. Again, it's on the news tab. It's under pitch notes, like you'd find all the regular pitch notes on the EA website for FC26. But the low-driven shot effectiveness, people said that low drivens were too good. Now, I would zoom in on this fully, but then it would not show the full video on camera. But as you can see here, actually maybe it will. Yeah, it will. As you can see here, this is before the update on FC26, and this is going to be after the update. By the way, all these updates are going to be done around the early access time. So EA is implementing this now, adding it to the code, updating it to the code, and then it'll be out when we get on the game for the first time. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty fast. Now, before, as you can see, the goalkeeper on the left, the ball goes underneath his arm and legs into the back of the net. And that shot was like kind of central. Like that's a savable low driven, even though it's at a close distance, close range. Now look at the right here. This is after the update. The keeper, since he's close and since this ball is kind of shot in the same direction towards the middle left of the net, which is a savable shot. We don't know if he's got footwork play style. We don't know anything about that. We're assuming this is the exact same scenario with the same everything, keeper stats, play styles, whatever. You can see here that he makes a different animation and he saves it with his foot. He saves it with his foot right there to knock it out of the way. Now, as you read this, it says here, and I love the way this is worded because this is the second time I've heard EA talk about a gameplay change, and instead of tune something down, They are taking something that is good and tuning something up to meet it. That's what's happening here. They're not nerfing low drivens. A lot of people on Twitter yesterday were saying, low drivens are nerfed. They're too effective. EA was like, hold on a second. Low drivens are in a good spot. They need to be effective. But what we're going to do is raise the level of goalkeeper reactions to those specific shots and try to level things out. I think that's a way better approach than just saying, oh, we're going to make the low-driven shots worse, right? I don't think we like that. So now the skill gap with this here, if you're watching this replay again, the skill gap with this is here, using precision shooting and getting your aim right. If you're aiming to that left stick, that left post, this is probably still getting past the keeper and going in the back of the net. Maybe even the near post too, if you can time it right or whatever. So that's the situation that I like with these updates here. And it's not just this one that they mentioned that with. This AI defender speed, I was expecting to see stuff about, oh, maybe they reduced the AI defender speed because people were saying they were unnaturally fast, catching attackers too easily. But what they actually found was some ball trapping animations for offensive players were slowing down the ball carrier. So they came into this trying to fix this issue as a defensive issue, but realized watching the before and after that it's actually an issue with the attacker. And this one's really crazy, guys. I don't think I'll be able to zoom in on this one, but I needed to watch this like 5 times to actually see the difference, like in the middle. So what you're going to see here before is watch the red player, the attacker. He's running onto this through ball, and the defender is trying to catch up to him, and the attacker is obviously trying to take a touch, turn, and shoot. And you can see here that the attacker, instead of continuing to sprint at full speed as he was going past the defender, his animations slow him down. So he's like jogging right here. The defender then has time to catch up. So when he goes to make a turn and shoot, the defender's there and makes the tackle. Now, if you watch on the right, the after shot of this, there's no slowdown. That's the animations when, you're about to try to request that slight turn so you can get the angle for the shot. And the attacker takes it at full speed, takes a good first touch, a second touch to get him into the right space he needs to be in, which is crazy when you look at this timing, right? Over here on the right, the guy on the right side, the after, is taking his first touch right here, right there. Look how far away still on the before this attacker is. And then watch, when this guy on the right's about to take a shot, look, he's about to take a shot right here with the defender behind him, and this guy's already losing the ball and getting tackled. That's a huge difference in one change of an animation. So I thought that was awesome, that instead of a defender speed being changed, what they found is that there were some ball trapping animations that were slowing down the ball carrier, creating that scenario where, let's be honest, if you're this far through on a through ball, you better be scoring that 1v1. I mean, unless it's like 37 pace striker and a 90 pace defender. But like most strikers and most defenders, the striker's going to be faster than that, so you're going to go through and score. So I thought that was a pretty cool change. And again, it actually just kind of feels like the continuation of what we've been hearing and seeing about this game for the past month or so. All of the pre-game build-up and everything is EA's listening to the community and updating the game in a different way. So this sounds good. Of course, we still have to play the game yet. We still have to feel things out, but that is a solid start to how these updates are looking. They also mentioned some more here about attacking AI positioning, not getting into space. They're saying they're going to make improvements to that so that players can recognize open space faster, regardless of their role or familiarity. So that's kind of cool too, that it's not just for role plus or plus pluses, it's regardless of those two. So those are the 3 main things in the first pitch notes of FC26 for a game that's not even out yet, which is honestly kind of crazy. Now, I want to talk about ratings for a little bit here. Of course, we've already had the ratings. We've had the leaked database. And would you be surprised or not? The ratings are the exact same from what EA posted to what is in those leaked databases. However, I'm going to link this page down below in the description of the video because this is the official EA database. You can go in here and you can look at some cards. As you can see, the positions that were added to these players that we were like, wait a second, is Fede Valverde actually going to have right back? Because that's what he had in the leaked database, right? Well, you look on here and Fede Valverde's got right back. He's got the same play styles that he had in the league database. So those numbers were correct that we've been looking at for the past week and a half. But now it is nice to have this official database here. And EA will be adding more cards to this, I'm assuming, throughout the rest of this week. But there's no real big changes there. Last thing is another card design leaked, guys. It is Road to the knockouts. And this really isn't that big of a surprise because it was our first promo last year, like our first proper Impact's regular promo of FC25. You guys remember some of the cards like the Ollie Watkins, the Doku, the DeMarco, Frimpong, Romero, of course. And these were cards that were upgrading during the league phase of the Champions League, the Women's Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. And this could be our first promo again. This tweet here from ASY, these are the designs, which every single year when we see these Road to the Knockout or all of the UEFA themed designs, they look kind of similar. I will say the Champions League one does look pretty dope with the stars in the background. The Women's Champions League one doesn't look as good in my opinion. And the Europa League and Conference League, they're just okay. The Champions League always looks the best. Makes sense. But some people are saying to this, the same boring promos every year. I don't know. I kind of have a 50-50, like agree with that, but also not agree with that. I always love live promos because they're great for investing, and that means players can get upgrades. And that is a great way to start the game, to be honest, with a promo like that. But I think the more and more we go without ones to watch, the more and more that I look back on that and I'm like, man, ones to watch would kind of be fun. Maybe that's nostalgia speaking, but maybe it's also I just want to see a different promo than Road to the Knockouts because that's not like a wow promo to start things off. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. It's not confirmed yet that this would be our first real promo, but it could be. The other thing it could be is objectives and SBCs only. If you guys remember, for a lot of the Road to the Final cards this year, those were only in objectives and SBCs, right? Remember the Ben White and some of those other cards that we had heading into the UCL finals. Now, of course, these were Road to the Finals, and they were not Road to the Knockouts. But you guys remember the Odegaard that was in the Season Pass, the Upamecano that was in SBC. Maybe there's a chance that Road to the Knockouts as live cards would just be in SBCs and objectives as well. And what we talked about yesterday with the World Tour could still be the first promo of the year. That's still up in the air. Again, that'll be confirmed anytime we do get those launch update pitch notes, which we are waiting for very, very patiently, not patiently, whatever you want to say it. So that's all the FC26 news that we have. I want to talk about FC25 for a quick second. Yesterday we had Chloe Kelly and we had Bino Gittins, or Gittins, as the SBCs, a 99 transfer card there. And other than that, there was a new rush objective, which I do believe gave us a card. Yeah, Cloud 99. You get 99 Hampton. If you don't have the 99 rated keeper in your team, you can go ahead and get that. And of course, it's all about SP. I'm level 37. Guys, right before doing this video, I was doing AFK manager career mode games because your boy needs to play 3 more, and I'm going to be almost to level 38, which will then get me enough SP to go to level 40 after I play the player manager or the player career objectives here. We'll have that one done. We'll be at level 40 and we won't have to worry about it anymore. And we will be donezo with FC25. I did do one more fun thing on the game though, just to kind of end off one great year for this man, Christian Eriksen. Probably not going to be able to use him in FC26. We gave him all 99 stats except for defending. And of course, he got 5 play stop pluses. So I feel like I have a very unique card there. And that's our endgame 99 rated squad right there. Probably not going to change much as we head into FC26. But that's the video from me today, guys. If you did enjoy, drop a thumbs up on it. Hype the video if you want. Comment down below if you have any questions. Subscribe if you're new. Love to hear your thoughts on any of the stuff that we discussed today. Of course, it was a good bit. The market stuff, the pitch notes that have dropped already, ratings, and the whole first promo situation. Anyways, guys, appreciate you. I will see you in the stream today. We'll see if we have any more FC26 news to discuss, and we'll be just chipping away at the very end of FC25. Appreciate you guys once again. It's been TheFutAccountant. Great Tuesday. Peace out.